Hey everybody, I'm coming in quick to do a video response to Janie's Green Light the Day video from yesterday. I just had too much to say, so I needed to do it this way. I'm leaving for a short weekend trip to Maine, so I wanted to get it done quick. So I also watched a clip that Janie had put up from, of course I'm going brain dead as I have to record, Tony Robbins. And I happen to like Tony Robbins. But like anybody, I take the things that I can relate to and I leave the rest. So a lot of the things that she spoke about in her video yesterday were ideas and concept from his video. But I'll speak on that. So I wrote down the questions Janie went through. The first one, are you living your dream? No, I'm not living my dream. Let me amend that. I am married with kids. I used to dream that for myself. I never thought I would have that even when I was younger. So that in itself for me is an accomplishment from where I come from. But am I living my dream? And I say no, because what I do for a living, I do not feel purposeful. I go to work to collect a paycheck. That's why I say that. Then you ask the question, why not? Your answer was, you fear that you will cause pain to others. I've given that a lot of thought, and that's part of it for me. And is this thought real? The thought is definitely real, because it's all relative. You know, it'll be different for me than for the next person. What would you do if you didn't have this thought? What would your life look like? What would you be doing? Okay, I need to be more specific and explain. And when I say the fear of hurting others, I make a conscious choice, and Janie and I have talked about this at length, to stay in my current position because my children are young and they depend on me for so many things. My entire family's under my medical insurance. I live in New York. It is very expensive to live on Long Island. My husband and I both have very good jobs, and we are barely making it. So I believe it would be very selfish of me to quit my job and pursue a career that would be more meaningful and purposeful. Because at the end of the day, we still need a roof over our head, clothes on our back, and food on the table. And that's just the bare necessities. And that's really what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, I know the difference between need and want. I know what it is to go to bed hungry. I have gone to bed cold. I've known what it is not to know where your next meal is going to come from or if you're going to get one. So I don't want my children to ever have to go through that. So that is a lot of what drives me to stay in 20 years now in a job that I really don't like. Now, I should take that back, because I'm going to choose my words wisely. It's not that I hate my job. I think my job doesn't really serve much of a purpose, but except for the paycheck. It's the people that I work with. And I've shared in my videos, I work around a lot of negative people. I extend a lot of energy to stay positive with the people that I work around. So that's the hard part. And don't even get me started on the commute, and I don't get to see my family and all that other stuff. But in the society, or the, not so much society, the atmosphere that we are in today, it is not easy to get a job like the one that I have, paying benefits, the seniority that I have 20 years invested, I have a pension in, those are the reasons why. So what would it look like if I didn't have my kids? Wow. Whew. If I didn't have my children, and I'm going to be totally honest and get down to the bottom where there is no more lies, and be honest with myself, which, if you ask me, that's the hardest thing that we have, is being honest with ourselves. Because I think we tell ourselves more lies than we tell anybody else. If I didn't have that, I think not only would I be in a different job, but I probably wouldn't be married to my current husband. And don't get me wrong, I love him, but that's the bottom line of it. I don't know what position I would be in, because there's lots of different things I'd like to pursue. And I don't know who, if any, I'd be in a relationship with. I just know I wouldn't be married to my current husband if we didn't have our children. I think we would have called it quits a while ago, but we have committed to each other through thick and thin, as the vows are. I'm just going to leave it at that. Why are you holding on to that thought? I think I explained that. Do I have that power? The power of how they will receive the decisions for my life. Okay. So when I was listening to this, I think Janie and I were looking at this question a little differently. Which is, I totally believe that it is not my responsibility how other people perceive me. I am only responsible for my intentions, with my actions, with my words, with all my behavior. How others perceive me, really, people perceive me from their own experiences, so that's on them. But that being said, I still represent my family. I am still a 43-year-old mother of 2 young girls, and I'm well aware that I need to behave accordingly, because I am a role model, like it or not. They are listening, watching, and paying attention at all times, even when they're not around, because it will get back to them how I behave and carry myself and handle situations. I'm very aware of those things. Am I responsible for how others receive my decisions? Again, I'm not responsible for how they receive my decisions. And honestly, it really comes down to, I need to be comfortable with my decisions. But my decisions do affect others, especially when it's those that depend on me. It would not be fair for me to make decisions that are going to affect my husband and my children without consulting my husband, at least in my opinion, because I would expect the same in return. So this is my mindset. And the fact that he and I come from 2 different worlds, 2 different extremes, 2 different places, is where the obstacles come in. But that's a whole nother video. Getting down to the bottom where there is no lie. Well, I know that Janie did this video about a year ago, and Lord knows I've been working on that one for a good long time, and have vlogged about it a couple of times, but it's always there with me. Now, going to Tony Robbins' video that we watched, and Janie talked about decisions and being decisive. And I love this part because Tony talked about, if you're making a decision isn't made without action. You don't make a decision when you're still talking about it. When you've made a decision, there is action. And I do consider myself decisive. You know, yes, I am a planner, but I am also somebody who needs to take action. I am not someone who can sit still and wait. And actually, patience, it's not a virtue that I was given, and I've had to work at it. So it's hard for me to sit still, sit back, and wait. And there are times, many times in life, where that's the right thing to do. Sit back, wait, don't act. Especially with me, who's an emotional being, sometimes it's a react, and I need to monitor that I'm not reacting. Sit back, subside, deep breath, and make sure I'm coming from a rational, sound place to make a educated, well-rounded decision to take the proper action, that I can see the big picture. Because when I'm emotional, I can't always see the big picture. I'm only coming from here. And as I've said many times before, my head and my heart are not speaking the same language. And in so many times that we need to make good decisions, our head and our heart need to both weigh in. I mean, my gut will always have the final say, but they both have to weigh in. Because if only one is making the decision, then I just feel like something's missing. And at the end of the day, I know that Janie talked about how bad does she want it. Now, when she started talking about this, I mean, we can talk about many things that are going on for me right now, but I am battling weight gain. And for me, I've gotten past the whole worried about the size and worried about the scale thing. What I am trying to identify is what's going on with me that there's this gain. You know, like what's going on in my life that I'm making poor choices. Because for me, I know that that's what it's about. It's about the fact that I am not taking care of me the way that I should. I'm putting myself on the back burner. So what do I got to do? And what's going on with me mentally, physically, and emotionally that I need to get it together and get back on track? And it's so funny, when I was thinking about, it's really getting back to basics. And you know the group, Back to Basics, and I just really miss what back to basics used to be. You know, it's just gotten too big, but it used to be very intimate. And there is, listen, not trying to exclude anyone, but there is a purpose, or there's a positivity to intimacy, you know, a support. I mean, I know how do you don't get to know new people if you don't get in there and get out there, but I am a private person. I don't put a lot of my personal life on here. So I pick and choose, and I don't have a support system at home when it comes to health and weight loss. So I do miss Back to Basics, but I've learned, especially my Green Light the Day group is a huge support system for me, and has helped me grow tremendously. And I need to get back, now that I feel like I have grown spiritually, I need to get back to the physicality again, and taking care of my body so that I am healthy and here for a long time with my girls. So I hope I haven't gone on too many tangents, Janie, but this is how your vlog touched me and affected me. And I relate so much to all the things that you're saying, because I feel like I'm always going through these shifts and changes, but it's in a good way. and we'll always be going through shifts and changes. But it does, I liked your vlog because it put a mirror in front of me, and I feel like it poked and prodded me to get back to basics and say, hey, don't be complacent. You've still got work to do. You know, you're still, you know, don't lollygag, don't be complacent. I hate to keep using the same word with, okay, you've done this amount of work, but you've got plenty of other work to do in other areas. And although I'm in the waiting room when it comes to whether it be career or stuff like that for my own reasons, for my kids or whatever, my kids are growing up and I'm noticing changes, and we're starting new battles with the teenage years, and whew, it's exhausting. And I still haven't gotten a hold on my schedule. Here we are in October, and I still haven't gotten a grasp on the school schedule yet. I mean, I didn't even eat dinner until 9:30 last night. That is unheard of for me. Just so many changes, and life is forever changing. That's the one thing we can always count on, is changes. I have to roll with them better. So I am sorry for this extensively long vlog, but I just believe it was necessary. And thank you for the questions and constantly challenging me, Janie. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.